Jacksonville Jaguars, Kristian. What's going on with them? I hear they got a new QB in mind.
Yeah. Alex Smith. Alex Smith isn't terrible. I mean, he's I don't think he's a great quarterback. I don't know how he'll do in the system. If they're interested in him, then obviously the coach thinks he'll do well in his system.
If you work for the Jags and you were the scout to pick the next QB, who would you pick?
Probably somebody coming out of college.
They tried that.
No, probably somebody coming out of college, not in this coming draft, but
Okay.
probably the next one.
Okay.
Really, before I would get a quarterback for this team's future, I would want to make sure that we had an offensive line that was going to be able to protect him and give him plenty of time. I don't think that their offensive line is terrible right now. It could use some improvement, but I don't think it's terrible. The defense obviously needs some work. That's probably where they're going to go in the draft. My guess is they're going to go for a defensive lineman, probably a defensive end, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what shakes out. We'll see how the combine goes. There's still a long way between now and the draft. They have, I think, an unproven coaching staff.
It's coming up, though.
The combine? When do they do that?
Around February?
Is it in February?
I think so.
I used to pay a lot more attention when I played fantasy football. But I used to actually watch the combine. No, but their receivers seem a little bit better. So, yeah, maybe if they go after... you know what? I wouldn't even bother, honestly. I wouldn't bother going after Alex Smith.
Really?
I would honestly give Blaine Gabbert, as much as I don't believe that he's the future of the team, I would give him a shot. Him
Two
and...
seasons?
He's still young. But I would give him and Chad Henne both a shot at winning it out of camp. See what they do next year. And, go into the next draft maybe looking for a quarterback, or maybe one of these guys steps up and does a job. Neither one of these guys are so old that I'm willing to say, they'll never be any good.
Right.
But we'll see what happens. I mean, and part of it depends on the system that we're going to see in the offense. So
Interesting.
it's a lot of variables, so I can't answer that question really.
Well, you definitely gave us some interesting input for the Jags. I hope they do well next season. I know that a lot of people don't feel that they will do well next season, but I hope that they...
I think if they do poorly next season, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
I just want some improvements in communication. Getting
another high draft pick is not the end of the world. Having a high draft pick 2 years in a row, not the end of the world. They could come out of that with a very solid team. You look at the Cowboys years back, the way they built that dynasty that they had. They drafted their quarterback, Aikman. They went 1-15 with Aikman. And so they got another high draft pick. They basically were able to put together the team that they needed. And then they went 7-9 or 8-8, something like that, 9-7, and then they started winning Super Bowls. This is a process. Jacksonville is at the bottom end of this process.
So you're saying that they should go ahead and fire their first year head coach, but keep the QB
for now.
Okay.
For now. I mean, I'm not saying that that's who they're going to end up with ultimately. What I'm saying is, and honestly, owners and GMs really just do not give people time to develop at this point.
Yeah.
That said, I don't think Mularkey was a good coach. I don't think he was ever going to win. Not with this team anyway, not with his system, not in today's NFL.